Greetings viewers, in today's video we are going to discuss the design of Malzahar, the Prophet of the Void. Malzahar is an interesting champion since I think he gets a much worse rap than he deserves, and let me see if I can convince you by the end of this video. However, before we get into that, let's quickly re-go over the criteria. The criteria for my design discussion is synergies between abilities, potential counterplay for enemies, how much you get rewarded for skill, and encouraging interaction within said abilities. Numbers won't be taken into consideration for ranking, as that can be more of a balance issue than a design issue. We are going to be looking at the gameplay kit only, so no visuals. His only meta build is Mage, so he will be judged against that standard, and his core identity is wave clear and set up with his ultimate, so his design is going to be looked at with that in mind. For his passive, he gains a shield that gives 90% damage reduction or negates a crowd control effect until it's used, and then it goes on cooldown. Essentially, it's just a spell shield. The cooldown scales off level and can make him very frustrating to fight both in lane and for team fights. Overall, it fits in quite nicely with his design, and I like it. Upon casting his Q, 2 portals spawn on either side of the target location, and then they collapse and deal damage between them. It also silences them. It sounds a little complex, but basically it just damages within a small area and also silences. It is a very nice additional wave clear and extra damage, although he really doesn't need it on top of his E. No issues with this one however. For his W, casting other abilities gives the stack to this one up to 2, and then casting it spawns voidlings that attack and deal damage. This gives Malzahar even more wave clear for whatever reason, and it's also great for attacking while he CCs them with his ultimate. It works quite nicely with his design, and I like it as well. Casting his E upon a target deals damage over time, and if it kills the target, it spreads. Another funny part of it as well is that the damage over time duration resets when Q or his ultimate hits. It provides more value to hitting your Q and being smart about ultimate timing, so that's also quite nice. However, the wave clear for this is far too strong. Once you get some AP levels, you can simply perma-shove waves, which is no counterplay for the enemy for the most part. This is the main issue that I have with Malzahar. Casting his ultimate suppresses a single target for 2.5 seconds, dealing damage over time, and he is unable to cast any other abilities or move during this time. A lot of people don't like this ability, and I can certainly see why, but I personally disagree. I like it a lot. And the main reason for it is that you need really good macro in order to get great use out of it. If you are ever outnumbered, his ultimate can be borderline useless, since it leaves you quite vulnerable to be attacked. However, if you ever have numbers advantage, it can be one of the best ultimates in the entire game. Having this makes it a really broken ultimate on paper, but in my opinion, it's quite balanced in practice and creates some very interesting dynamics surrounding it. For positives, even though he is a really frustrating champion, his kit has clear counterplay for the most part. For his shield, it has a clear indicator so it can be easy to remove before bursting him down, so that's good. He also has low mobility, making him easy to kill when caught out or outnumbered. His ability has great synergies as well. His passive works great with his ultimate to protect him, his Q works great with his W and E for wave clear, and his ultimate works very well with his W and E for damage over time. To sum up his negatives, it's basically just his E. I don't like it. There needs to be more counterplay surrounding it. I like it in the design, however, so it doesn't need to be changed, there just need to be a few adjustments to it. As an example, maybe his E can only spread to 3 targets before stopping, or killing a target adds a second onto the remaining damage duration instead of resetting it, so you need to actually use all of his basic abilities to push a wave instead of simply pressing E. Overall, I like Malzahar's design, and even though he's one of the most frustrating champions to verse to some, in my opinion there can be a lot of counterplay for what he wants to do, except for his E, and for that, the highest rating I can give him is A. Thanks for watching, and goodbye viewers.